all people of goodwill, what all people who care about humanity, all reasonable people want to avoid above all, is a great war, is terrible human suffering and conflict and death. And we want to avoid, of course, anything that's going to lead in that direction. And it's very difficult, given the trends and the processes that are taking place, to see how we're going to avoid a problem like this. Because right now, as I think I tried to explain earlier on, there is this great contradiction. It's this irreconcilable clash and this problem. I don't see how it can be avoided unless we have a greater awareness of the problem, unless there are discussions like this one, and pointing toward a solution that will be in the best interest of everyone, of all humanity.
So, Dr. Laitman, in closing, what should Jewish people do now? If we had to tell them something now, they don't have time to hear the whole thing necessarily. What people like Mark, like yourself, others were hearing it and asking themselves, okay, Jews are people of unity. What does that mean? Who do we unite with? What do we do? What's the next step?
Good point.
So first of all, Jews need to realize, they need to recognize that anti-Semitism is actually embedded in nature. It is like a law that works towards them on the condition that they don't fulfill their role in the system. The moment they will begin to carry out their role of human connection, gradually, of course, it's a process, but the moment they will begin to also demonstrate and bring in all the nations of the world into a higher level of unity, and again, this is written in the ancient book of Zohar, in Kabbalistic texts that are written 2,000 years ago and before. If they begin to carry out that role, everything will subside in the sense of the hatred towards them and also the joining of humanity. All the nations will come together. Everyone will understand what's happening here. What's the historical process we're going through? Who are the Jews? The Jews are simply a collection of all the different nations and clans and tribes from Babylon. Later, that group scattered again across humanity, but it's a collection of all the different nations, and it's a group that finally now, hopefully, will begin to realize its positive role towards the world in showing and demonstrating a higher level of social unity. And then all nations of the world will be able to follow that. Look, why is that group so powerful? Why? How can it be? How can 0.2% of the world have so much power? It's because they possess that power across the human network, but they use it negatively, not towards connection, because it's after they lost their level of connection. If they change their vector, therefore, towards positive human connection, they will radiate it across the whole world. And now this is something that that group needs to listen to, but all the world needs to join this and listen to it. And so we want to make a situation where hatred is fine towards the Jews, but it needs to have a direction. Why do we hate you, guys, let's say? Not just because you're running the banks and the governments and the media and all that. Sure, but it's because you're actually, more than that, you're holding the key to social unity and to the life, to a higher level of human life. This is the correct demand that needs to appear towards the people of Israel. That's why I said earlier, I'm not expecting anti-Semitism to disappear. I'm expecting it, hoping for it to get the right direction, the right packaging.